Hi guys, it's Kristie Taylor. Today we're going to play in my art journal. I'm a part of a collaboration put on by Tina Walker called the Stencilified Journal. And every week we get a new prompt. This is the video for prompt 7. The prompt is stencil a page in your journal, rip it out, and put it back. So what you see here is after I've already stenciled a page and I've ripped it up and glued it back in, and now we're just building from there. I'm using my tape roll there for a circle, just tracing inside that, and then I'm going to use different objects off my desk for different size circles. Just tracing around them with an India ink pen. And just going to keep going until I have a bunch of circles on the page. Now I'm just painting around the outside of the circles with a little bit of watered down gesso. I want to just push the outside part of the circles back just a little, not make it disappear completely because we still want all those great colors and stencil designs back there, but just push it back a little. That stencil that you see on the background there is my stencil, which is produced by Stencilgirlproducts.com. That stencil is called Mandala Lace, and it is so pretty. It has a bunch of different mandala shapes, and they're arranged to look like lace. So, yeah, mandala lace. Now I'm just giving it a quick dry with the heat tool. We just want to make sure that the gesso is nice and dry before we move on. Just touching up a few spots there. Push it back just a little more. Second coat of gesso here, and then we're going to dry it with the heat tool. And I'm just taking my time and enjoying the process. All in all, this whole art journal page took me about an hour and a half. So just keep that in mind whenever you go to create. My hands don't normally move this fast. So what you see there is I used my brush and some FW iridescent ink. I watered it down just a little bit and then painted it on around the outside of the circles and then squirted it with a little water to help it run. And that gives us a beautiful shimmery wash on the background over top of the gesso part. And then of course we dry each layer with a heat tool. I'm just going to repeat that process. Add a little bit of the ink and then squirt it with water. And dab off the extra. I'm just going to do that over and over until we get a good little wash of color. And then we'll add a different color. Now here it's watered down a little more, so it just gives us a little bit of color, not a lot. Now we're going to use some blue. I want the blue to be a little darker, so I'm adding that directly from the little eyedropper. Put it on, squirt it to help it run, and then dab off the extra around the edges. And then of course dry it with a heat tool. Same thing for the bottom. I love these shimmery colors. They make me happy, especially blue and purple. Oh, and green. Okay, and red. Of course, red you sometimes have to be careful because it tends to look kind of bloody. Or maybe that's just the OR nurse in me. I'm going back in with the purple again. Put it on, squirt it off, let it drip, and dab it away. This was a lot of fun to create. I love to get messy and get really cool effects at the same time, so this is a good technique to do with that. I will put a link to all the stencils and products that I used in the description box. And while you're watching me paint and drip, I would love to invite you to follow me on YouTube and Instagram. I also have a Patreon, and I'm trying to save up for better video equipment. So if you're so inclined, I would love it if you helped me out by following me on Patreon and becoming a patron. My patrons get access to exclusive content, and they get a lot of freebies. At least one freebie a week, sometimes more. So there, we have brought our circles out so that our circles are center of the show. We're just going to dry this ink with a heat tool so we can move on. Believe it or not, we're almost done. Now I've got another Stencilgirl stencil there, and I'm just using a makeup sponge and that same FW ink, and I'm just dabbing it into the holes in the stencil. Ta-da! Magic. Now I'm just going to add some ink through other stencils. Again, all of the stencils I use in this project are Stencilgirl stencils. This one I believe was a club stencil, but I would definitely add links to all the ones I used. This is a little black gesso that I'm adding through this stencil with a makeup sponge. This is just to help incorporate everything and make our lines and our circles a little more uniform, like blend into the background. You know what I mean. A little shadow. We want light and shadow. Now I'm just outlining all the circles with India ink. This India ink runs and spreads really well when you spray it with water, and that is exactly the look we want that I wanted for this page. So I'm just outlining all the circles. Then you'll see when I spray it, it's coming up really soon. Look at all those yummy shadows that are created. Now we're just going to dry it with a heat tool. I want those to stop running. I don't want them to run too much and take over. So if we dry it, they'll stop. And here I'm just using a white gel pen to add my sentiment. It says, keep sight of your dreams. Never lose hope and keep the bad out. Next, I'm just going to add this beautiful die cut by Spellbinders. I love this beautiful dream catcher, and I wish it came in a big giant size. I'm going to adhere it with some iCraft adhesive by Thermoweb. This adhesive works awesome in art journals. It's excellent for paper to paper. And that's all there is to it. We are all done. Thank you so much for visiting my channel today. Please give me a thumbs up and like my page, and be sure to check out the Stencilfied journal. I would love it if you give me a thumbs up if you like my video. Follow me on YouTube and all those social media places, and come find me on Patreon. Bye.